Okay, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of June the 6th, 2025. Which cyborg body do you like best? Where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga, Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Muskogee Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado. And with me from Fountain, Colorado is Lee. How's it going, Lee?
So far, so good.
Cool. And also with us from the Shires in the UK, we have Lottie. How's it going, Lottie?
Hello, not bad at all.
Nice, nice. First, I want to apologize to everybody. I guess this was going to be a manga, kind of thing. And
yeah, I was wondering about it. I asked you about it. You didn't reply to my DM.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was kind of busy over here trying to get ready for this. Anyway, yeah, the site that I was getting the manga off of, they pulled Mars Chronicle off of the site. So anyway, there's no mind. I asked Channel if she knew where there was another, a site that did it, and she said there is none. So
what?
I guess we'll just have to.
There's no other site that has Mars Chronicle.
I did a search. I couldn't find any. She couldn't find any. So
why did the site shut it down?
I have no idea. You'd have to ask them.
Is the site? Is it a pirate site?
No, it's not. It's Manga Dex. It's a legitimate site. So.
Well, did you not pay for it then, or something?
No, I got a user ID and everything on there. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Lee and I were speculating pre-stream that maybe they have an issue or something with legal, having it on there or something. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah, maybe they got copyright struck.
And maybe they weren't getting enough views on it. I hope that's not what it was. Because
it's not much to host a few pictures of manga, so. Yeah,
I guess what I might try to do, I might see what I can do about still doing a manga read. It would be me reading the book, the manga itself, but you don't see any, pictures up there, so it wouldn't be as entertaining, I don't think. I see we got Smendrick's going to stay in the chat because he's he's kind of sleepy today, I guess. And we got the Bad Man out there, and we got Alita the Killing Angel out there. That's a really cool handle there, Alita the Killing Angel. I really like it. So anyway, how are things going down there in Fountain, Lee?
Oh, not too bad. It's finally warming up and stopped raining.
Yeah. Raining in Colorado, by the way, for you folks, is kind of unusual. Well, it's not that unusual, but I mean, we get like 3 or 4 days in a row, Lee, or something like that, and that is unusual, I think.
Plus, it was kind of cool for this time of year too.
Yeah, it got down to the low 40s up here. I don't know if low 40s up here. That would be about 7 degrees Celsius, I guess, something like that. Which is
down here at least it was about 10 to 12 degrees centigrade.
Yeah.
Although it did get down to about 8, I think, one night.
Yeah. About there in jolly old England there, Lottie, how's it going over there?
Pretty like gray and it's a bit wet and stuff. It's not great.
I see Bad Man says he downloaded all the Mars Chronicles.
Yeah, you can just download it and view it off your screen.
It's not on any site that I could find.
Well, I'll have a look. I'm sure. Who's got it? Bad Man.
He probably downloaded it I don't know if he got it, where he got it. Where Bad Man put in the chat in the chat where you got your.
Probably just email it to you or something.
Maybe he could do that. Yeah, well, we could work that out because I hate not reading the manga because I really like the manga. It's.
I might be able to find it as well on a current site or something.
So I had to come up with this topic last minute. So, but anyway, it's a good topic. We did something like this a couple of years ago. I think it was which version of Alita is the best waifu. I think was. I guess the closest thing to it, I guess,
Surely we've done an episode. We've definitely done episodes on her bodies.
Oh, yeah, we've done different bodies at different episodes. I don't know if we've done them all at once like this. Maybe we have. I don't know. But I just came up with this at the last minute. So it was imagine me trying to modify the PowerPoint presentation and then try to get this thing all done by the time stream time. You know, that was kind of wild. So
I'm sure you've still got slides for us, though.
oh, I got some slides, Bloody. You know, I got slides.
I don't have enough slides.
Yeah, Badman says he thinks that maybe that there may be some legal. That's what Lee and I were talking about pre-stream. That maybe that Cadenza might be taking some legal action against some of these sites. Maybe they don't have permission or something like that, and they put it up. You know, so. Oh, well, that is what it is. So anyway, well, I guess we can move on. I want to remind everybody that we got the LA, and that's incorrect. Golly, I didn't change that number. It's $1,500 now. It's not $1,377. And you know, I guess you know, it's still going. It's been a couple of months since anybody has donated. But you know, we're going to leave this up, you know, just in case somebody, you know, that sees the stream here might decide they want to put a few dollars in there, because this helps, you know, fund, you know, the LA fire victims, you know, because it's really horrible to have your house burned down like that. But you know, and I finally got reimbursed for all the money that I'd sent to the greater good.
Oh, they finally did that. Finally,
they finally sent it to me, you know. But that's okay. It wasn't that much. It's a couple $100, I think, something like that. But you know, I wanted those one, even though that's not that much money. You know, it's what money we did give them. I want them to have it pretty quick. You know, so you know, it's okay. You know, so if you want, no amount's too small. You know, just click on the link there. You see. Below the image there on the screen, that link is down in the description. That's where you got to click on it. And you can designate, you can put your name in there if you want. I know, you know, Angelus and I, and you see, you know, Panini Freak's got her name in there too. You know, I don't have any issue with, and I think it's a good idea that, you know, that if people don't want their name on the internet, I have no issue with that, you know, but I don't seem to have a problem with that. But if you can designate like Vladi, you know, he's using his one of his internet handles, so and that's, you can do that as well. And you see that a couple of, I know, for instance, Alita Rave, actually, he and I kicked this thing off. We seeded it, you know, and he specified anonymous on his, so you know, that's because he don't want his name out on the internet as well. So, but you can do that, you know. So no amount's too small, and we would sure appreciate any kind of money you can donate. We also got the Alita sequel petition going on, and this is an updated slide right here. So, you know, I think we've added something like, it might have been as many as 10 over the past week. I'm not sure, but from last week, I'd have to go look at it. But anyway, since I've been promoting it, I guess it's been kind of doing a little better, you know, and here, I guess, you know, pretty soon here, maybe today or tomorrow, I'm going to put some more money in there to get this thing moving again. I'm already promoting, you know, kind of promoting Alita on my channel right now, so hopefully that'll carry over to this. And we're on our way to 180,000, as you can see, and that's a lot of folks that want to see a sequel, and we hope Disney sees this as well, because there is money to be made, you know, on this. I believe you got to enter your name and your email address on here, and if you want, you can also donate some
There's money in the Battle Angel.
Yes.
In our body, all you have to do is just like press a button, and money will come spewing out of Disney. Nice. Boy, one of our body's lesser known functions.
Yeah, that'd make her a hell of a girlfriend.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like have a automated, it'd be like a ATM.
Literally.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, you put your name and your email address in there. You can specify that as anonymous as well. So if you don't want your name and email address out on the internet, you can do that. If you want to donate, click on the button. It takes you to another section here, I think, on the, or it could be, it take you to funding side. I can't remember what it is now because it's been probably 3 years since I've put money in there, or signed the petition rather. But anyway, yeah, you can specify as anonymous, and just help us get our sequel, from Disney. And of course, as you guys all know, The Creek, I want more than just a sequel. I want 5 more movies is what I want.
3 sequels.
That's right. I want that. Plus I want, as you guys all, well, you know this too.
I'm sorry, 3 trilogies.
3 trilogies, yeah. Well, it would be 2 trilogies, wouldn't it? It'd be.
I want 3 trilogies.
All right. Well, we have 9.
That way they can spread it out a little bit, develop the story a little bit more. Put a little bit more in
we
it.
have 9 movies. I'm all right with that. I don't have more the merrier for me, But yeah, I want also a series. I want some more anime, and of course we're getting some more manga. So I guess Kishiro's writing. It's going to pick up. He's not doing a reboot, but he's doing something of a. He's going to divert a little bit. I'm not sure how he's going to do it, but it's going to be interesting.
Isn't it sort of like a spin-off or something like that he was doing?
Could be, but I think Alita is still involved in it, so I'm not sure how he's doing it. But
yeah, it's going to be cool to see what he's doing.
Yeah, it is.
It's a fresh start, but it's in the same universe, obviously.
Oh, that's the thing. If it's the biological Alita getting her own little spin-off stories, then that might be interesting.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. You mean like her life with Figure 4, you mean?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Okay, well, anyway, no, if you want to donate, no amount would be too small there, but we do want you to sign the petition. That helps us, keep pounding Disney. As the late John Landau said, just keep peppering them. And this is one of the ways we keep peppering them right here. And yes, and I do have Alita's Queen Studios bust. Did I say Alita? I meant Rosa. Did I say Alita?
You did, I think, yeah.
Gosh, well, Rosa is Alita and Alita is Rosa, so I guess it's all right. But yeah, I do have Rosa's Queen Studios bust of Alita, and it's still in the box. And we want her to have this as an expression of our admiration, appreciation, and affection, for our queen, and she wants it. So there's it's just a matter of timing, I think, when we get that to her, So yeah, that's right, Bad Man. There it is. The new series is going to be the Panzer Kunst Chronicle.
Oh, okay, so they're training in the
could be.
Ball.
Yeah, could be. And probably some of the covers Yoko's and Erica's training. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, and then of course we'll see some of the characters in Mars Chronicles, like Kuhn, I think would probably be in it, because I think he was part of that as well.
And Gelda. Yeah,
Gelda, that's right. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, yeah, like I say, Rosa wants this. We want to get it to her. This is not a gift, this is an award from us in the Alita Army. We really we love our queen and she loves us. So that's and we want her to have this, if when we get the chance, or when she lets us know, we'll get it to her one way or another. And we do have the Alita Gaming Network, and once again, I tried to have we got kind of mixed up on the movies, stuff like that. I guess we're going to have a watch party on Monday again, and I think we wanted to do A Million Miles Away or something like that, and I don't have it. And I don't know if Smendrick was able to get it.
I can get it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway,
we didn't have it though, did we?
No, we did not. And I think Smendrick came on there for a little bit, and I don't know if he came on or he sent me a text or something. And I kind of waited for 45 minutes and nobody showed up. So I said, well, I guess we'll do it next week. So but even if we don't play it, I think Smendrick eventually said, you know, something like, well, we can, you know, I said, well, we can still watch, you know, The Trouble with Edward or something like that, you know, and he said, yeah, we can do that, but still nobody showed up. So, you know, I after 45 minutes, I left it up, you know, just kind of waited, and I was doing other stuff on my computer, and then, but nobody showed up, so I logged out. So, but let's shoot again for Monday, okay, and that'll be
1 million miles away.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I
But
can probably stream it.
we have a little better plan. If we don't see A Million Miles Away, then we will watch The Trouble with Edward. So there will be a watch
Is that the
party.
Star Trek short?
That's the Star Trek short, yeah.
Didn't we already do that?
We watched that about 4 or 5 months ago, I think. So
yeah,
I don't mind seeing our queen in that thing again. That's kind of neat.
She deserves better than that.
Well, she does, but I'm also a Star Trek fan, or at least I used to be in that fandom. But you know, now, you know, I'm not. But I mean, you know, I still like Star Trek.
Another IP from our childhood destroyed by Hollywood.
It may be.
And
Although I will say,
sabotage and destroy like Alita.
Well, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is pretty good. I watched that. You know, I think there was one episode I didn't like that much. It was kind of a musical thing. You know, I didn't. You know, I mean, that's not, to me, that's not Star Trek. But the rest, I do like Anson Mount. He's really good. You know, you know, as Captain Christopher Pike. You know, he's super good. You know, he was also in that series Hell on Wheels. And I like that series too. You know, he plays a kind of a gunfighter that's, I guess, working for the railroad or something like that. But he's not a bad guy. He's I wouldn't say he's a good guy particularly, but he's you know, he's kind of not an anti-hero, but you know, just kind of a guy. You know, a guy with good guy tendencies. And it also had, I guess, it had Common in it as well. He was one of the guys in there. So.
Oh, yeah. He was in Silo.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
And Clone Meany was in it too. He was in Star Trek himself as Ensign O'Brien. You know, the transporter chief. You know, so it had some good people in that thing. You know, and it was good. So Anson Mount's really good in that. So, but anyway, you know, we will have a watch party. If we don't watch A Million Miles Away, we will watch, you know, The Trouble with Edward, or maybe some other thing. Because I got The Trouble with Edward, you know, Smendrick sent it to me. So he had sent me the high definition, the 1080p, not the 1080p version. I guess was it? No, maybe not that. Might have been the 4K version. And you know, we went through the upload and download and all that, and I found I already had it. I already had the 4K version, but that's okay, you know. So, but what
time is it on Monday again?
It's going to be 3 p.m., which is going to be your time, Blotty. Would be 10 p.m. BST.
British summertime.
And it'll be 11 p.m. There in Central Europe. So
okay, I'll watch in bed then.
Yeah. So. Anybody wants to join us here on the Alita Gaming Network? Well, we did watch Chariot, Smendrick. We definitely did that, you know, and you sent me Chariot too. I appreciate that. Yeah, we did. That was about, what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I guess. We certainly watched it. We could watch that again. I don't have any trouble with that either. But yeah, we did watch Chariot. But I was talking about, some time ago, probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago even, we watched The Trouble with Edward. I don't know if you remember that. And we may have watched that thing twice. And we watched Good Crazy also. We watched that back late last year, I think it was. A short that Robert Rodriguez put together, you know, that she got Robert to do the directing or something on it, producing or something. So, and that was kind of a cool, kind of like a microcosm of our queen, you know, kind of what she does. She's at I don't want to spoil it too much if you haven't seen it, but she's at like dinner with friends or something, and kind of, you know, I don't know if she has to go to the restroom or something like that, but she leaves, goes outside, gets involved with a couple of folks out there, kind of roams around roams around LA, I guess. And then finally at the end, she finds his dog that was, I don't know if it's injured or something. Then she picks up the dog and is taking care of it and stuff. I said, yeah, that's could be like what Rose is like in real life, not that she's crazy. She isn't that, but I mean, cares for animals.
She's good crazy.
Nah, she's not. Rose
good
is
crazy.
Yeah, she's good crazy. There you go. I can see that. But yeah, she's our queen. Our queen is she's really fantastic. Anyway, if you do live streaming, you can do that on the gaming network itself. Because we do have a live streams channel. I did not put this the link, I guess, for this stream in there this week because I didn't have the manga to stream with or to do so as a show or whatever. So anyway, we got kind of put that in there. You can I know Maxie puts oh gosh, Windows 11 telling me I got to reboot, and I'm going to say not now. Jeez. Anyway. Maxie puts the Radio Chaos link in there as well for YouTube, and I guess Chaos Nova also puts it when he does streams. He doesn't do as many streams as we do, but he does do some streams that are pretty good, and he puts those in there. If you do fanfics, certainly we got a fan fiction channel. I know Lee's got his link for his. Do you have the link in there or the whole story, Lee? I think you just got the links, don't you, in there?
In the
Discord? Yeah, on Discord, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the links to the sites where they're at.
Okay. So anyway, and I know that channel has some links. I think she's got a couple of fanfics out there. And Maxie's got his out there. I got mine out there. So if you do that, you can, if you do fanfics, you can put a link in there, and it's kind of a small network. We're not really pushing it in terms of promotion to get more members, that kind of thing, because I think the folks on here like it small. They want to keep it intimate, I guess, which is okay. So if you want to put it out there as like a test, say, oh, I'm gonna put my fanfic here, just see if everybody likes it, as opposed to putting it on something like Archive of Our Own or something like that, then you can put it on our fanfic, and you can, just, let's see how people react to it. If you do art or you do videos, you can put that in the user creations channel. If you do stuff that's maybe loosely Alita related or not really Alita related, you can put that in the off-topic channel. And of course, we got the watch party channels. The notifications for the movies are in the watch party text. And the watch parties themselves are in the watch party channel. And then, of course, we've got 3 voice channels. And I think Lottie and Spendrick mainly hang out in the gaming channel, I think.
Yeah, we played a little bit of RoboCop today.
Yeah.
We started quite late, so we didn't get very far.
Okay. So, and you can play any game in there. It doesn't matter, I think Angelus, I think, has played Stellar Blade in there, I think. And I think he's played Cyberpunk 2077. And I know I watched him play Cyberpunk 2077 once. That was a while back. But, yeah, you can do that in these channels. And Matu and I, you don't have to get our permission to do any of this. We kind of do watch it to see nothing inappropriate gets in there. But, we haven't had that problem ever, so it's... folks on the gaming network in the Elite Army, they're really respectful. They don't, we just want to have fun with this. We don't want to do anything untoward or anything like that. So anyway, there you see the link below our little Chibi Lita mascot, and that link is also down in the description. So you got to have a Discord user ID though, or username, and when you sign up, it's free. You don't have to pay anything. You sign up for Discord. You do have to put your email address and some other information, but I think, you build a profile on it. But that stuff's not public, so nobody will get your email address, and you can choose any avatar or say PFP you want, and use any, handle you want in there, in terms of the, your whatever your member name would be. And to join our network, it doesn't cost anything either. You just click on that link, you get an invite, and you're in. And you don't pay one red cent or one shilling, as a Lottie would say. So
No, only you're that old.
Yes. Oh, we're not. Do you guys don't use shillings anymore, do you?
No.
That's
pounds.
pence. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know my mother used to, talk about shillings and sixpence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's been a while back. So anyway, so if you want, join the gaming network. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and on this network. And last time I checked, there were 45 people on there, but I'm not sure what it is. I got on there today, but I didn't check how many members were on it. So
I think
anyway.
someone joined recently. People
Yeah,
were waving, so I joined in the highs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right. Well, that's about it, I think, folks. So anyway, here's the bodies we're going to be talking about now. If you want to talk about her being a waifu or, having uwu or something like that, you can do that, but we kind of want to just discuss, the differences and the similarities between the bodies and, how Alita, how she acts, and because she does act a little different in some of these bodies, like in the Imaginos body, she can be arrogant at times, in the doll body, well, certainly in the movie, the doll body at first, she was kind of, they kind of really dumbed her down quite a bit, I think, at the beginning of the movie. Of course, she kind of, as she kind of learned her way, she got smarter and smarter, that kind of thing. So, and of course, in the body, she was when she was in the military, she was basically a killer. She was I hate to describe our girl as, she's not psychotic, but she was trained, to train for battle, train for war. Well, that's why she's our battle angel, I guess. Mm-hmm. And, and although that human body is not a cyborg body, I want to talk about that just a little bit, because it could be, that we're going to see a little, particularly maybe if there's, at the end of the third movie, we might see some kind of reference to an Alita human body. I'm not sure what that would look like, in the movies. I know what it looks like in the manga because I read all the Last Order, and I read that little side story about the Tree of Life or whatever. Flower of Life or Tree of Life? What is it out there, bad man? I can't remember.
I think it was a Tree of Life.
Yeah, I think it was. So, and of course, in the Berserker body, she was like, this feels like more me. So anyway, she's yeah. All right, here we go. The Rosalita body, our Queen Rosa. Well, that's not an Alita cyborg body, but it is a human body. So, I don't know. That body, when I met her at the Pasadena Playhouse, Rosa's really pretty. She is, and she's smart too. She was a joy for Charlie and I to talk to. We had a lot of fun, and she enjoyed talking to us. She stuck with us at least 10 minutes. Just chatting with us before she had to go across the street. There's a little, I guess, I don't know if it's not a bar. I don't think. I think it's like a bodega or a little, kind of a sandwich shop or something like that. I think called the Stand. So anyway, the cast would go over there. Cast and crew, I think, would go over there after the play, or something like that. So anyway, yeah, we had a lot of fun talking to Rosa. That's for sure. So. But no, Smendrick, we're not going to talk about Rosa's body. We're not going to do that. So, but anyway, here's the bodies. The Imaginos bodies, of course, there's 3 of them. And technically, if you were to throw Martian Memory, there's 4 of them. There's Imaginos 1.5, but I guess that's not, how would you say, that's not canon, I guess, not in terms of the manga or the movie. So, or the anime for that matter. So anyway, any comments, you guys, Lee or Vladi, about any of the bodies as we go through them? Then we'll just try to figure out which one we like the best. Yes.
I was going to say
Well,
the doll body when she woke up in it, and the way she was acting, sort of naive. I
Yeah.
think that kind of plays into the fact that she was basically a newborn in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well,
taking her first steps.
Go
and
ahead.
she stumbled.
Yeah, she
Taking
stumbled.
up, her new body it was completely fresh. It's obviously meant to be youthful.
But you notice how fast she got back up.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that was kind of a foreshadowing, I guess, of no matter, you can put our girl down, but she's going to get back up. So, so anyway, so yeah, I guess the doll body certainly, the other bodies, she's more of a woman. I mean, well, she is a woman. Particularly in the Berserker body when the movie, she was a young woman there. I mean, she wasn't.
Well, in the movie, Cameron's notes, he states that Ito estimated her age to be between 14 and 18, but because of him sort of projecting his daughter onto her, he assumed her to be in the lower end of that age when she wasn't actually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess mentally, even having slept for, depending on manga or movie, 200 or 300 years, she's probably closer. She's like, I think in the backstory on the movie, from the extras, she was 17 years old when she was on Mars, training, So you figure if she goes through and she was in special ops, so she'd have to be trained for that as well. So you figure probably a year, maybe, something like that. So, if she was 17 and, she went through that training and went through special operations training, then she'd probably be 18, I guess, by the time she went off to battle, the Earth forces, I mean, at the Great War of the Fall, So she's definitely 18. That's a very young woman, but, she's mature in that body. She's,
we had kids fighting as young as 17 in Vietnam and in World War II. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did. And I bet there
were child soldiers knocking about.
Yep.
Like African warlords and stuff.
Oh yeah, they go them even younger than that.
Well, I know in the American Civil War back in the 1860s, there were reports of kid guys that were like 14 and 15 fighting in that battle, in those battles, which is not good, So, well, no war is good, but anyway. So, but yeah, Alita's a little different though. She's a cyborg, she's not 100% human. She's 98% machine, So, but her brain, is still, the driving force, behind that. So she is still a teenager, even though she's over 300 years old, But I do believe, and we're going to go through each of these slides, but I do believe that, especially as you go through, the original manga, and then you get into the last order, she matures quite a bit, and she matured quite a bit in the movie, for that matter. I mean, to me,
very rapidly.
Yes. Well, she looked like she was when she was on that supply tube with Hugo. He's trying to go up. She was more like 20 something to me, like early 20s. In terms of her maturity level. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So
I don't really think of her ages like that throughout the movie. To me, she's always just the same age, like her actual age, sort of thing.
Well, in the manga, I think you're right, Bloody, on the movie, but in the manga, there is definitely a difference. I mean,
well, the manga also spends a lot more time letting the years pass. I mean, there was that
10-year period.
Well, there was a 10-year period in the Badlands, and there was also a 2-year period after Motorball.
Yeah.
And then there was another, I think, a 2-year period between the time that she ran into Zapan again after he killed Sarah.
Yeah.
And then when he became Berserker Pan.
Yeah.
There was like a couple of years in there as well. So the manga actually let the time sort of stretch out a bit.
Yeah. Because, in the last order, particularly, she's like in her mid-30s by the time she gets to the end of the last order. So there's a definite difference in her maturity level. Now, last order, she is a little different too mentally, I think. She's still Alita. She still has a good streak in her and stuff like that, but she can be a little bit arrogant,
I remember somebody saying that in an interview with Kishiro, he had mentioned that he didn't really like the way she developed in that story. That he felt she became kind of mean-spirited in that arc.
Yeah, there was some mean-spirited things.
Oh, yeah, I definitely caught some of that myself. I'm like looking at some of the things she did. It's like, damn, really have to go that direction?
Yeah, but I think overall, even the last order, though, overall, she still had a good streak.
Yeah, she's still the same person. It's just that there were some leanings in one direction or another that... The story progresses in snapshots.
See, Kishiro said he modeled that kind of jumping time.
Oh, okay.
Right before writing Gundam, okay. Where the story progresses in snapshots. Yeah, that's right. I think you're right, Alita the Killing Angel. I think Alita the Killing Angel, I'm just going to start calling you Alita. That's a mouthful. So anyway, or I could call you AKA. I could do that.
I was just thinking that.
So anyway.
I kind of suspect that the way she behaved in the Imaginos body, that might have been some of the effects of having that much power and being as nearly unstoppable as she was. That does have an effect on people. I mean, they've done studies even in the real world where people who perceive themselves to be, say, wealthier will begin to act differently as if they actually were, even though they aren't.
Yeah, because that's that. There's that old saying, I guess, absolute power corrupts.
Yeah. Power corrupts, and absolute power can corrupt absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. But I think even in her Imaginos bodies, I think even though she does kind of give into that power a little bit, she still retains her humanity and her good streak.
Oh, yeah. She never actually went overboard with a lot of it. She just kind of leaned in certain directions that were a little kind of eyebrow raising.
Well, when you think about it, and we're going to get to that when we get to these bodies, if somebody gave you powers, kind of like she had it with the Imaginos 2.1 body, let's say, us humans, we, our minds being what they are, we would probably all cave in to the.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not. We may not become evil incarnate, but I mean, we would definitely be influenced by the additional power.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, they've done studies with just perceived increase of like status or wealth, and it has a very definite effect on the average person. It's not very, I think it was about 30% of people didn't have that much of a negative, it didn't have that much of a negative impact on them.
Yeah.
But most people, it does have a negative effect on them.
Or at least some influence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also, in fact, a YouTube video. I can't remember who it was that did it now, but they did a little short, sort of a video essay on it. It's like, what kind of person do you become when no one can stop you?
Yeah.
And typically as far as what we've seen in history in the real world, typically people don't become very nice people when they can do whatever they want with no consequences.
Yeah, well, I think too that, well, hopefully that wouldn't happen to any of us. I mean, if that happened,
Well, that's actually part of the what I wrote into Jason's personality too. Is it's like when you become stronger, more powerful, and there's nobody really who is going to care to do anything about you.
Yeah.
How much of your humanity do you end up losing in the process of that corrupting effect?
Yeah.
But she seemed to, stay sort of
grounded. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. And gosh, I meant to put that in alphabetical order, and look what I did. Oh, well, yeah, it is what it is. All right, well, let's talk about the civilian body. That's the body that she has I guess it's like after Motorball, although during the Motorball arc, I think she might go back and forth between civilian and Motorball because
I think she stayed in her Motorball body, actually.
Did she?
Yeah, she just wore regular clothing over it.
During the during the
Motorball arc?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think the civilian body is predominantly after the Motorball arc.
Yeah.
I guess she had quit playing Motorball, or had she quit completely, or had she?
Yeah, she quit completely. She was only there just to try to find herself a bit. And then after her showdown with Joshigan, she was out of the Motorball circuit entirely.
Yeah, yeah. Because I do know that's what set Zapan off, watching her on TV, you know.
Yes.
That kind of sent him sideways, I guess, you know, and he wasn't very, mentally, he wasn't very resistant to anything negative himself, you know. So even though he had, of course, in the manga, you know, these are fictional characters, obviously, but from what I could tell in the manga, you know, the woman he was with, Sarah, you know, she, look who just showed up. G'day, mate.
G'day.
Here he is.
All right.
Hello. Hello, Governor.
Hey.
Now that's English. Although people in England don't talk like that anymore. At least I don't think they do. So
not anymore, Ricky. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Those are old times, though. Although I will tell you, Blotty, I remember I was there in 2017 on a business trip, and I was I'd gone from the hotel to the office there where I was working. You know, I was only there for like 2 days, maybe 3. You know, and I went there, and then the second day I was there, it was raining. You know, so I came in, and you know, she said something. How's it going, Gary? And I said, well, it's a lovely day for ducks. And she busted out laughing because that's an old term, I think. You know, my mother used to use that term a lot. You know, but anyway, that's another story. So anyway, the civilian body. This is one of the bodies I hope we get to see Rosa in as Alita in you know, in the sequel, because, you know, I want to see Alita sing, you know, in the Kansas bar. And I know, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I have a pretty good guess.
That'll be so good.
Rosa can sing. I mean, I'm pretty sure she can, you know, I mean, her voice quality, you know, just watching her on stage and talking to her, I mean, she has kind of a neat voice, you know, I mean, and I think she would do well. Now she would want to go for some, you know, lessons, you know, or singing lessons or something like that. Maybe, you know, I don't know. But, you know, it'd be kind of cool to see Alita in the Kansas Bar 2. It'd be kind of neat to see her, you know, in there singing and you know, entertaining the patrons and all that kind of stuff, you know, and that she did that in the civilian body. Plus, she also, this is another thing I want to see her do, is she had like a little martial arts class going on where she was teaching some other cyborgs and some humans.
Yeah, I actually had just gotten finished reading the volume that had it in it when she had it turned out it was in the middle of a rundown building, I guess, where people were living in one of those rundown apartment buildings. There was a courtyard in the middle of it. And she had a number of cyborgs, including a couple of the cyborgs from the Sonic Finger arc side story.
Yeah, Alita the Killing Angel says that after Joshigan, you know, she didn't feel much of a challenge, so maybe she didn't want to be in the Motorball body after that.
Oh, she got challenged in Last Order. Toji.
Yeah, well, that was
challenged her pretty well.
Well, yeah. Now that was in the Imaginos body, and when she started that fight, she was in the Imaginos 2.0 body, and then she got blown to bits again, like she seems to like to do sometimes. And then she got reassembled real fast, so which was amazing. So in the Imaginos 2.1 body,
but he was important to her development.
Yes,
because I think he forced her to face certain aspects of herself and develop as a person. So he was a very important encounter for her.
Well, I do think too that with Joshigan, when she was in the Ouroboros, she, actually meets up with Joshigan, and Joshigan kind of influenced her there. Plus, also in addition to that, in her apartment, which I'd want to see Alita in her apartment as well. She had a poster of Joshigan up on the wall.
Yep.
So all that was he had a positive influence on her for sure. Kind of like almost like she's a fangirl, I guess. Something
Speaking of Joshigan, I'm going to see him tomorrow in the cinema, I think. Although he won't be playing Motorball, he'll be throwing innocent girls to the sharks.
That's
He plays a serial killer who kills people by putting them to sharks.
Jesus, I might miss that.
Sounds fun, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun that I'm going to miss.
Sounds fishy.
Yeah.
So anyway, the civilian body, she still knows Panzerkunst in this. Now, she doesn't have those plasma emitters or anything like that in that body, but she's still pretty potent weapon even in that body. She was a potent weapon in the doll body for that matter, but not like
she's a potent combatant in any body.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, the civilian body, though, that's going to be the coolest thing. They put her in that. I don't know if they can do this in the movie, swapping her out in bodies back and forth. That's probably not going to work, because they don't have that much time in a movie.
Wait, do you think she's switched to her Motorball body permanently now? I think she'll be back in her Berserker body.
I don't know. If they stick with the manga, she won't be. But in the movie, they got a little bit of literary license, I guess, or artistic license.
I hope she goes back in the Berserker body.
Well, she is really beautiful in the Berserker body, isn't she? I mean,
yeah. Plus,
she is.
All of our Hot Toys Alitas in the Berserker body.
Oh yeah. I mean, I agree. Yeah, you got the bust too, Bloody, don't you?
Yeah. Plus, it's like such a beautiful masterpiece of a design.
Man, it looks like her too, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
I was going to say that the Berserker body is like the Mona Lisa for Weta Digital.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that. Yeah, they definitely knocked that one out of the park, or hit for a 6. Angelus, did you get that link I sent you for that guy that's on YouTube that he does mostly baseball bats, but he decided he was going to see if he could hit a baseball with a cricket bat. Did you see that video I sent you, Angelus?
I probably did, but I can't remember. I watched it again, and
it's in your Twitter DMs. So anyway, what's this right here? Yeah, it won't be a 3-hour director's cut there, Smendrick, because I think they only shot for 2.5 hours. So I think I don't know. Let's see what is this? My Toys already is me. Mine doesn't have plasma weapons. We already have plasma torches. Yeah, maybe it's just bad, man. I guess they just didn't equip it, with because I guess not all the bodies that Cyborgs, even the bodies I guess that Ito had made didn't have those plasma emitters in them. I mean, a doll body didn't. So I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be cool. So your thoughts there, Angelus? What about that civilian body?
it's probably down there with my lesser favorites because it's not until Imaginos that it really starts hitting a stride.
Yeah. What about you, Vladi?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. It was like right after the books I read. So,
Lee?
Not much to say myself, I guess.
Yeah, because I was thinking you might have something to say since you put Jason in a civilian body, basically.
Oh, he doesn't have his full cyborg body yet.
Oh, that's right. Maybe he doesn't, because he was complaining after. Well, he wasn't complaining.
Yeah, he complains about muscle aches and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Torso is still flesh and blood. He's just had to
Well,
have a lot of his bones replaced because of bad calcium deficiencies,
well, not
and
only
because
that,
of being kicked around by Iron City.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, even at that, I remember him saying something about they were stretching or something, and I thought, why would cyborgs need to stretch? You know,
Well,
but
Cyborg wouldn't need to stretch, but
wouldn't.
Jason's still
So,
got tendons and muscles in most of his body.
yeah, that's right. So
But after chapter 29, that may end up changing.
cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I highly
Actually, she actually did do stretching in her motorball body. There was a scene in the manga where she did that. And I
yeah,
think it was mainly to get the servos and cables and stuff to sort of like get them set or something like that, or basically get them worked up a little bit and warmed up so that they would operate properly on the track.
yeah,
So maybe maybe some of that might be involved.
yeah. If you don't drive a vehicle like a car for a long time, it doesn't run so well, does it?
Yep.
So maybe it's the same thing with her. Yeah, with me, the civilian body, I mean, any body that Alita is going to be in, I'm going to like, you know, but I guess like Angelus, it's going to be way down the list for me. I think we figured out she was in 10 cyborg bodies and 1 human body. And I think definitely the civilian body would be in the lower 5, I think, you know, for me anyway.
Hmm.
But like say, Alita's great in any body.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of her power comes not necessarily from the body that she's in, although it does help immensely in many
Yeah.
cases, but from her skill with her ability to strike or focus her kinetic energy into a strike against an opponent.
Yeah, to get a
Power of the mind.
That's right,
Yep.
Smender. Yeah, after a machine runs for a while, it kind of warms up, doesn't it? Yeah, for sure. Any more thoughts about the civilian body?
Does it have special musical abilities?
It does not appear to.
Yeah, I don't know, you know.
Well,
I
she
mean,
can play the
it just
piano,
seems to
so
be a female form cyborg body of a average make and model.
Well, I think with her in terms of musical, you know, ability, I think, you know, she's still in her cranium is still what was discovered in the scrapyard. So, you know,
Oh, that's the thing. There is actually a line out of the manga that goes into a bit about what is in the core when you have a core that gets moved from one body to another. There are certain aspects of the consciousness that remain.
yeah,
Like it's kind of like muscle memory, but it's all in the brain.
yeah,
So no matter which shell you inhabit, everything that you've learned, all your talents, everything, all go with you. So you never have to relearn anything.
yeah, I got you. So anyway, yeah, I like Alita in the civilian body, but it's not one of my favorites. So. We think of petrol stations. Over here, Alita, the Killing Angel, we call them gas stations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's okay. What's
but
this?
they're liquid. They're not even gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuel station works too.
Fuel. Yeah, fuel station.
Fuel works better than gas, yeah. But everyone knows petrol station is the correct term.
Is that right?
It's not gas, it's liquid.
Petrol station.
Yeah, gas. That's right. Bloody gas is not, if gas is gas, and it's not liquid. So, yeah, you're right. New components are very needed to be broken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the metric system is the correct system to use for measurement.
I'm not going to argue against that.
Yeah, I grew up with the so-called imperial measurement system, and I do prefer the metric because it just seems to make more sense. It's got like a very
and
sort of orderly way of measuring things, it seems.
Yeah. Okay, let me read this. New components are very need to be broken in when they are repeated, movement, and arranged in order to optimal amount of wear. Yeah, that's right. Now you start your car up in the morning. It may, particularly if it's a cold morning, like like we get here in Colorado in the winter. It kind of runs sluggish, until it warms up. So yeah, I guess the same thing would be true of a cyborg body, wouldn't it? So, and yep, our girl still knows Panzerkunst, so she's going to be deadly even in this body, I think. Okay, moving on, I guess, the Berserker body. This is one of Creek's favorites right here because she definitely looks like a woman in this body. So it's different than the doll body in that, I think the Berserker body is kind of a, it's a work of art, but it's kind of more of a, how can I say it?
It's a more practical work of art.
Yeah, that's right. It's like built for combat, and
yeah, it seems to have a it seems to be more substantial in its design.
Yes. But you look at that image on the left. Now I know that's not out of the movie. That's I guess somebody that's kind of making that's not AI, but it's.
I think it's fan art, but for some reason they put the face from the movie on it.
Yeah, and I think well the body too. I mean, look at the body. I mean that's spot on, the body. So
exactly. I'm wondering if that was created by the artist or if the whole thing is copied from something else. Well,
they probably photoshopped a lot of that, so it's not AI.
It looks great though.
But that image on the left, that's definitely got some woo-woo, doesn't it, Angelisa? So really.
Yeah, I love the pose, just like leaning like delicately.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite pictures because she's sort of in a casual environment, just sort of hanging out.
Yeah, I think so. I also like that picture of her in the windowsill too. So it's she looks real cute in that thing. So anyway, that's another story. But yeah, the Berserker body, built for combat. It is a beautiful body for sure, but not in the same way that you would think of beauty, other than it's like Lee said, it's practical, because it is a combat chassis,
Mm-hmm.
And it's made to look like an athletic
yes
woman. It's not distasteful or anything, no matter what feminist critics said. Just look like a normal athletic woman.
Yeah, I get kind of tired of these critics that don't know what the hell they're talking about sometimes.
Well, they were just like resentful of James Cameron and stuff, so they were just targeting the film. Basically,
especially when it comes to health as well. I mean, like I know I keep on saying it, but it's only because you're like a legitimate, for lack of a better term, inspiration. But we've got a 70-plus-year-old powerlifter here, and that in itself is like a great example of like a healthy lifestyle. And let's take another example as well. Vladdy tweets about her all the time, Wu Yani. Like that's another example of like, someone taking care of their health, and as a result, they look freaking
fantastic. Her body's a lot like Alita's, exactly. It's just like the peak athletic form. That's also feminine. And that's another thing Wu Yani likes to she says that you can be beautiful and strong, which is what the feminist critics said you couldn't really. They were like oh, well, why does a cyborg need breasts? Like, because she's a woman and women have breasts.
Yeah.
Every time those so-called feminist critics open their mouth, I always get the impression they actually don't like women. It seems.
Well, exactly. And look what they've done. A female minority-led IP, they sabotaged into oblivion, and now we don't have the sequels yet.
Yeah, they just kept dumping on it.
So it's just so stupid.
Well, plus not only that, with this body conforms itself. Now, in the doll body, you remember she was in Ito's real daughter Alita's body. He made
that was custom built for a specific
made
purpose.
as a woman. But this one, the Berserker body and the Imaginos body configures itself around your mental image, your self-image, and she, I mean, to me,
residual subconscious self-image, I think it was.
Yeah, and she sees herself as a woman. You know, I mean, yeah, you know. Now I do think that some of these folks, you know, they don't like, you know, for women to be objectified and all that in movies. I get it, you know, but this is a little different. I think this is a, you know,
Her
this
body's not a sexualized shape.
no, it is not. I don't
They
think.
think that just any kind of femininity is sexualized, which is a really like misogynistic thing to think.
Seems that's correct, you know. But anyway, but
it's a
you know,
cultural war attack because they don't like men writing female characters and stuff.
Alita is beautiful in this body, I think. You know, so I mean, she's a knockout, you know, in terms of looks. Plus, she's very capable. You know, as you can see on the right over there. I mean, not too many people could do that one finger handstand. And that body is probably about, we conjectured it was between 200 and 300 pounds at one time, didn't we? Something like that. So
I think it was somewhere on the order of about 300 with the core and everything in it.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, this is one of Creek's favorite bodies. This is not my favorite body, but it is way up there. You know, it's definitely one of the better bodies because she's not only powerful in this body, but she's beautiful. She's sexy. She's, you know, just it looks like, even though she's a cyborg,
she looks more like herself.
Yes, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Which means it doesn't she doesn't necessarily just feel more like herself in the movie and when in that body, but to the audience, she seems to be more confident in it, be more at home in it. Yeah.
I guess some people think Alita should have the same kind of body as C-3PO or R2-D2.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
No. No. I like Alita in this body right here, just the way it is.
Or some kind of mechanical octopus or something. If you're Dr. Nova.
You know, Nova did want to put her in an octopus.
That's what I was referring to, yeah.
I'm glad he didn't. So anyway, what's your thoughts about the Berserker body there, Ann? Jealous?
Yeah, you might have had to go AFK.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe so. Blotty, what's your thoughts?
Oh, I'm muted.
Oh, Angel's walked away and muted.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just saying I was distracted because I was thinking of what was mentioned. Well, that too. Always distracted by the Uru, but yeah. I forget who it was, either Lee or Vladi, I think it was one of you two that raised it. But the subject of changing bodies in the actual movie verse, for lack of a better term. Considering that the Motorball body is completely different.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that Doc Ito would have had to have developed a way of, I guess, switching
jury-rigging some kind of adapters for it.
Yeah, from one body to another, and that's without like obviously because most of the bodies are like not just the Motorball related, so you wouldn't have the like the pit stop mechanics that like Joshika would have had changing cyborg bodies and whatnot. So yeah, I was just thinking that, but yeah, I'm thinking that she'll probably, unlike the manga, probably one aspect that the movie would actually keep, and they'll probably just stick with the Berserker body. And I don't know if they do like another body again, maybe the Imaginos, rather than it be a separate cyborg body like it is in the manga, it'll probably be like a uber upgraded version of the Berserker body or something.
Yeah, I don't see them coming up with it for the movies, even if they did 3 or 6 of them. I don't see them coming up with 3 versions of the Imaginos body. I think what they would do is just have what would be called the Imaginos body, and give her powers that are in that exceed the Berserker body, but that'd be it. I don't think you would get an Imaginos 2.1 body per se, you know, because it's not grounded, and we know Cameron and Rodriguez like to do grounded movies. So
yeah, moving at fractions of the speed of light seems a little excessive.
That's a little OP, isn't it?
Just a little bit, especially
Yeah.
considering the kind of damage and destruction you can do just moving through air at that speed.
Yes. Well, think about running Mach 6.5 even, which is
yeah,
which is what she can do, you know, I guess.
In the manga.
Yeah, in the manga, yeah, she can move at that speed. So that would be if you're on the ground, that's going to be pretty dangerous, you know, for people that are around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's that scene in that series, The Boys, where A-Train runs right through this woman, just explodes, you know.
Yeah, it was the first episode, I think.
Yeah, the first episode. Yeah, he's, I guess, one of the guys that are, you know, one of those boys that are after those superheroes. They want to, you know, kill them, you know, I guess. He was talking, it was his girlfriend, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, it was the very first appearance of, I think it was Huey, was his name?
Yeah, Huey, yeah.
It was before he knew anything about the boys or anything like that. He was just a regular guy living his life. He was talking to his girlfriend out on the street. Just as they were about to kiss, A-Train comes through, drugged out of his mind, and splatters her like a bug on the windshield.
Yeah.
Leaving Huey to be holding a couple of severed hands.
Yeah. So yeah, if she was running now, A-Train, I don't know how fast he did that race, I guess, against that Shockwave guy or whatever his name was, and he beat him, you know. But I don't think he was running Mach 6.5. So can you imagine, you know, just the slightest, you know, kind of a movement that would maybe take you off course of where you're running, you'd run into somebody, they just explode, you know. So that would be pretty dangerous. Plus her reactions. I think her reactions in a Berserker body are fast enough, because I've calculated her reaction time be somewhere between 4 and 20 milliseconds, or 4 and 10 milliseconds rather. So,
well, according to some of this, A-Train's speed is somewhere on the order of about Mach 1 to Mach 2.
Yeah.
So manga Alita has him beat quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I think now movie Alita, we don't really know how fast. I kind of did a calculation of how fast, but it would just be average speed. It wouldn't be, because like when she was killing those, you know, taking out those Centurions, she was moving fast, but you know, you know, she was turning, she was jumping, she was, you know, swinging her sword and stuff like that. So it was difficult to, you know, you could get an average speed, but you can't get a maximum speed out of that, you know. So who knows? In her Berserker body, even in a movie, she might be faster than A-Train in that as well. We'll find out in the sequel when we see it, won't we?
This is weird, but I find myself both, and this is in a very slight way, both agreeing and disagreeing in the context that actually, now that I think about it, it's probably just mostly agreeing anyway. But I was going to say that, yeah, I agree that they probably wouldn't do anything too crazy and keep to the more grounded. But at the same time, the part that I would probably disagree with is in the context that, you know, you look back at all the other sci-fi films that Cameron has done, especially like, and this is not including Avatar, by the way, which includes interstellar travel. But like you got The Abyss, you got the various Terminator movies and the various Terminator models that he's done, and that's just like, you know, the T-800 and T-1000. And all that other jazz. So it's like, I agree that he wouldn't do anything too far-fetched, but at the same time, if it's possible, Cameron would like take it to the nth degree sort of thing. Like he'd find a way to make it work, and then take that idea and refined the hell out of it to what I like to call the Cameron standard. So,
well, I calculated that her average speed, after all of that 15 seconds of running around, carving up those centurions, that her average speed was 125 miles an hour. And that, I mean, it kind of doesn't look like it when you see her running and all, but I guess
I could kind of see on a straightaway her getting up to maybe 300 miles an hour.
I could see that, yeah. But you can't tell. But I would say, though, having calculated that, and of course that in the Motorball arena, she was traveling at 100 miles an hour, thereabouts, and that she had the regulators or governors on her, wheel feet, I guess, because of regulation, as Ito would put it. And, she would hold her back. So I could see Cameron and Rodriguez making her run 300 miles an hour, maybe not do it all the time, because this movie doesn't need to be like The Flash, but maybe something on one little part of the movie she runs from point A to point B, to take out a bad guy or something like that, and she runs 300 miles an hour. I could see that, or say maybe when she gets in the Badlands arc, runs across, maybe some part of the desert or something like that, and she runs a straight line 300 miles an hour one time. I could see them doing something like that, What do you think about this Berserker body, Vladi? Did I ask you already?
I don't think you did. It's my favorite body. I like how it gives her so much empowerment because it's the body she wants and all the extra powers it has, and not just in strength, but in terms of like sensory touch and everything. She can just feel so much more in the world.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's really stunning.
Yes, stunning is a good word. Yes, for this body. Yep. What
so
about you?
Shiny too.
I'm sorry, Vladi.
So shiny as well. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, Alita looks beautiful in this body, that's for sure. It definitely looks like a woman, What about you, Lee?
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's a little bit of a toss-up between a few of them, but it's one of the top ones for me.
Yeah. All right, then let's go on to the doll body. Now, this body is what she started out in, I guess. Excuse me. And of course, it was meant for Ito's original daughter, Alita, in the movie. Now, of course, I guess in the manga, she's named Gally after the cat, wasn't she, or something like that?
Yes.
So,
Ito had a pet cat and named her Gally after the cat.
Yeah, and of course, this body was different from the movie as well. And originally in the manga, it was like from a streetwalker, wasn't it?
Yeah,
well, the arms were from a prostitute that was murdered by one of the
was it just
monsters
the arms
that Ito was hunting. The rest of it was built over time as
so it's much more wholesome backstory.
Yeah.
And tragic.
Yeah, this doll body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie versus doll body was much more sort of put together as a single piece for a specific purpose. And the one in the manga, it was put together over time as Ito gathered the parts to give her a new body.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for me, this body, I mean, she looks cute in this body, but this is more of I see like a 14-year-old or something, in this body, I mean, the one on the right there looks pretty sexy, I guess, but, it's, that's not, that's, to me, that's a teenager.
It's also got a very strange sort of almost steampunk aesthetic with some of the internal workings.
Yes.
The shiny gold skeleton.
Yeah, sort of brass-colored internals and things.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, when she was sitting up on that table, that when Ito was talking to her, you could see that was masterful, that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
you can see a little heart beating.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Really a work of art, Mona Lisa type.
I have to wonder how much trouble Ito would have really had if he was able to somehow maybe make use of the, if there is, I would imagine there is, some kind of nanotech shape-shifting ability in the connectors in the core. I mean, if the rest of the Berserker body can shapeshift the way it does, wouldn't there be some sort of shape-shifting ability with the connectors?
I think it's
in the
kind of
core?
a limited ability, though. I mean,
well,
not-
even limited, it would still provide a much wider range of connectivity options.
I think so. Not like the Imaginos body. I mean, particularly the Imaginos 2.0 and 2.1 body. She's a shapeshifter in that thing.
Oh yeah, that one's just
That's
kind of off the rails.
yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
The Berserker body shape-shifting ability is much more sort of directed.
Yeah, and even
specialized.
the rapid healing of the Berserker body is in shapeshifting in a way. So I'm sure it can adapt in certain situations as well.
Yeah, I know in the novelization it talks about all those gold inlays on her. You can see it. You can see like around her midsection there, got little gold.
Yeah, the engravings, the filigrees, all that. Yeah,
a couple little gold things. Her toes have got some gold, there, and all the little diagrams like flower. Not those are flowers or whatever those are.
There was flowers in various designs. Ito's daughter really liked flower designs.
Maybe if they didn't spend so much time making it look pretty, she would have had time to use it.
Yeah.
Ever think about that?
Yes.
Spent so long.
But I think in this body, this would be more age appropriate for, say, a guy that's 15 years old, perhaps.
I would probably say that maybe Ito allowed. I mean, obviously, because Alita would have known, real life, or not real life. The daughter Alita would know that her father was a cyber surgeon.
Yeah.
Ito would have allowed her to have some input on how her body was designed.
Yeah.
Much like this is a very crude parallel, but how doctors, like if you have an arm broken or something like that, doctors say, "Oh, like what color cast would you like to have?" or the bandages for the cast, and they'll go like purple or red or green. Same thing here. Being a teenage body, and being the fact that daughter Alita would have had to go around in public with that cyborg buddy.
Yeah, you'd want to have her have some input into what she's going to look like.
Yeah, hence why the thing obviously looks vastly different to the design of the Berserker body.
Yeah, Berserker's a military machine, also designed for civilian use based on its various functions. I mean, it could mimic many of the functions of a organic body. This one is just it's what Ito had to work with in the in Iron City, what he could salvage. And that's the thing, even considering that, it's still to be able to make a complete sort of cohesive design like that out of whatever he was able to get his hands on.
So there would have been time to get all the parts as well. Or rather, he would have spent the time getting...
There is the possibility he wasn't actually able to finish it. So he
could have finished it after his daughter died.
Yeah, he maybe...
As a monument.
Because, sort of like because he was in mourning and he couldn't bring himself to stop, he completed work on it after she had been
it didn't
killed.
originally have all the flower patterns and stuff.
Well, the thing about it too is, I guess once he got Alita in this body, he would have probably been more predisposed to do upgrades, as time went on, I think.
It may have been designed to expand into a mature body as his daughter aged in it.
Could be.
Much like
at least,
today.
Or at least he could upgrade it like that, Alita, where if when she got to 18, when she got to 20, when she, that kind of stuff, he could add more and more, appropriate upgrades.
Alter the frame as needed to acquire new form or whatever.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure he would be able to do the shape-shifting thing. I think he's...
No, it would have to be manual rebuilding.
Yeah, that's right.
But it could be that the frame was designed to be altered in that way on an operating table.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, when he's putting Alita, like movie Alita into the doll body, like he was literally lowering the chest plate down. So, you know,
Yeah.
there's nothing stopping him from just designing another chest plate with
Well,
whatever that daughter Alita would have wanted at the time.
Yeah, I was thinking also that the frame itself may have had built-in adjustment systems.
Yeah.
So he could like twist it and like widen the hips and stuff. I suppose maybe.
That plus made her a little taller and stuff like that.
Yeah. So as she grew, the body
Thicker
could grow with her.
thighs. Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily a lot, but at least to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Otherwise,
this body too is, to me, is in terms of pure aesthetics. I think this body is more beautiful than the Berserker body in terms of just pure aesthetics. You know,
Yeah,
the
it's a
Berserker
very,
I know what you
very
mean.
pretty
They're beautiful
body.
in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
One is
right.
more, this is like a classical kind of thing, and the
It's like
Berserker
a
body is
living
more,
sculpture
futuristic,
almost,
yeah.
whereas the
Yeah,
other body,
exactly,
the
yeah.
Berserker's more of meant to be used.
Like a tank.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily even like
it's
a
like
tank. It's got a certain elegance to it, but it's a very sort
it's
of
a living
real
sculpture
world
of youthful
grounded
femininity.
elegance, whereas this is more just sort of work of art sculpture type.
Well, I know Hugo sure took notice when she came. Whoa, he saw her in the Berserker body. He's like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a much more substantial body. This is a very beautiful artistic body, but
Yeah,
it doesn't have the substantial presence that the Berserker did.
Well, she sure kicked the shit out of those three cyborgs, or those.
Yes, which is a testament to her ability.
Yeah,
no matter what body she was in, she was still kicking the crap out of it.
Yeah.
That's right, Alita the Killing Angel, or AKA, yeah, she did a lot of ass kicking in this body. Well, even in this body, she damn near killed Gorwishka in the underworld. Remember that big
Again,
heavy?
it shows you can still kick ass and be feminine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a very like youthful feminine body.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this body would be built for just my concept of Ito, being a kind of like a cyber surgeon / engineer or whatever. He would build a body for his daughter that would be upgradable, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Considering his brilliance, it seems that he would be looking to the future.
Yeah.
He may have just built her another body though, for like.
He might do that.
An adult body.
I think it'd be cheaper though, less expensive to build upgrades into this body as opposed to building.
I think he would probably be putting as much work into giving her the best possible body that he could.
Yeah.
It also occurs to me he might have been waiting for her to reach a certain age, a certain level of maturity, so that her brain could maybe withstand being transferred into a full body more easily.
Or adapt to it. Yeah.
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 I mean, otherwise you'd just be like KranberriJam and reach a certain height and then stop growing.
Oh, I can't wait to KranberriJam and meet you. Of course, Angelus is a pretty big fella, he's
be sure you wear shin guards.
That's right. Oh gosh. All right, well, let's move on to the human body. And this is not a cyborg body. Now that one on the left, I did the same thing I did way back when, human body, but it's cute. So that's why I put it in there. So, but anyway, the human body, of course, is not a cyborg body, but she would be more, female human, I guess, in this body. But I'll tell you what, she still knows Panzerkunst. So in this body.
And there was a scene in the Badlands arc between her and Figure 4 when he first got into it with her because he was tired of her attitude, as he puts it. He throws a can of food up, does some kind of stuff to it, and it starts sort of expanding inside.
Yeah.
Like it's building up pressure inside. Then he pokes a hole in the back and it shoots towards her like a missile. Apparently, he's able to do the Hertz of Heion with a flesh and blood body. which means she would still be able to with this body as well.
But she would know how to. That's for sure. Yeah. So yeah, if a human being, she'd still kick the shit out of any human being.
She would still be very dangerous.
Yeah, she would. Now she would be more, I guess, how would you say, to keep it appropriate, more cuddly, you know, in a human body. But you know, she's definitely would be. Yeah, you wouldn't want to pick a fight with her, even in this body.
No.
You know, because she could hurt you if she wanted to. You know, I mean, there are guys, you know, in the world today that are, you know, they're pretty powerful in human bodies. So, you know, and I can imagine she's probably in this body. My guess is, I don't think she'd be orders of magnitude more powerful than the strongest human, but I do think that she would probably be stronger, at least in her ability to fight. And you know,
yeah, in sheer strength, probably not stronger, but her capability, all the accumulated knowledge that she's gained in combat, in what she can do, would probably make her very dangerous to deal with.
Yeah, so
not somebody you would want to get on the wrong side of.
Yeah, you could get like well, it's like that boxer Inoue. I'm not sure if you guys have seen him. He's a Japanese boxer. And man, he just destroys people he fights. You know, I mean, not damn near. He may have knocked out everybody he's fought. He may have had one decision that he won in a decision, but you know, he's not physically, in terms of, you know, being like a bodybuilder, power lifter, weightlifter type guy. He's not physically strong like that, but his ability is, like Lee was saying, his ability is so great that it doesn't matter if you're stronger than he is. Now he's gonna knock the crap out of you.
Yeah, he can outmaneuver you. He can focus you.
Yes.
Now she would have to deal with something she probably isn't used to dealing with, which is stamina, because a flesh and blood body, it does get tired.
Well,
whereas
plus
the cyborg body she's used to, they never had to deal with that.
Well, plus injuries as well. I mean, she could get injured in this body, you know. Safer to pick a fight with Alita and Erica in this body. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that bad man in terms of the Imaginos or Berserker body.
Yeah.
But Erica's pretty badass, you know, that's for sure. But yeah, I think the human Alita would not. I think, if you're going to pick a fight, if you had to pick a fight with Alita or Erica, or human Alita or Erica, you'd probably want to pick a fight with a human Alita, but you still wouldn't do very well, I don't think, you know. So anyway, what's your thoughts about the human Alita there, Angelus? I bet he's on mute again, I bet.
No, I'm just distracted by the uwu.
Oh, the uwu, okay.
Yeah, she still have all the knowledge and experience, but I don't think she'd be able to apply it too well. Basically, the reverse situation of what Figure 4 went through.
Yeah.
When he got his cybernetic arm, he punched on. After his arm got cut off or removed by Zex, and basically the arm, probably also because it was poor quality, but the arm crumpled because it wasn't built for to withstand it. And same in reverse, like she'd be able to very well perform Panzerkunst in a meat suit, but I don't know if the meat suit would be able to withstand the forces.
You might have to build it up a bit and maybe wear some protective gear, because it's not going to have the durability she's used to, but she might be able to spend some years, you know, sort of building up that level of
well, if she wore armor of some kind, that would help a lot, I think. But I think Alita the Killing Angel says she would have to work out a lot, but it wouldn't be a problem for her, because I think she would love working out. That's what I think. Welcome, Chaos Nova from Mentor, Ohio. Or not Mentor, Ohio anymore, is it? You're in Pennsylvania now. Is that right, Chaos? think you're muted there, Chaos, I think.
Give him a second. He's probably trying to unmute it.
He's got something in the private chat. Okay, well, I'll be there in a few minutes. Okay, he's logged in, but he's AFK. So anyway.
Yeah, I was going to mention real quick the scene where Figure is punching that tree to exercise his new cyber arm.
Yeah.
That actually ends up coming apart because he got impatient. He wanted to get it back out and look for Alita. And he didn't let the mounting heal fully.
Yeah.
So it tore itself free of his body.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Well, Alita is human in the manga in two places. In that side story, the Tree of Life, you know, she comes out of that tree, you know, after, and of course her and Figure 4 embrace, but that's not a canon. That's just kind of like a little.
That's the retconned ending, yeah.
The retcon version, yeah. But now at the end of the last order, there is another Alita, and not to spoil, but there's actually two Alitas at the end. One of them is Imaginos 2.1 Alita, and the other one's Human Alita. So, but we'll leave it at that. I won't spoil anymore.
Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Alitas that we know of.
Yes. Well, I think there's like, remember there was a trivia show we did on Radio Chaos. There's 10 cyborg body Alitas and 1 human Alita. So total there's 11 Alitas, I guess. You know, in terms of bodies, you know. So now at the end of last order, you know, she's, you know, I mean, the human Alita looks pretty good, you know, in terms of being a human being. And of course, Figure 4 just.
I actually find that kind of interesting, considering, I don't want to spoil anything, but considering in Martian Chronicles what Kashiro has her origin being, the fact that she has such a normal-looking human body is interesting to me.
Well, I think probably the DNA, you know, from her brain. I don't know. That's a good point, Lee, because not to give away that, because it's kind of creepy, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, her backstory in the manga, you know, but, you know, the DNA itself, maybe the bioprinter has the ability to you know, make corrections or, you know, modify, you know, based on true human DNA. So maybe that's the way that worked out. What's this? Best human versions of our girl were created by Vladi. Yeah, with AI.
Oh, that was a nice one. I remember that one.
Nice.
Referring to a specific one, I think.
Yeah, they were.
That one still used the face from the movie.
That's all right.
Just edited around it. Well, no, that's better because then you don't. Often the AI messes up the face, so it's better just to have it when it replaces the rest of the picture.
Yeah, so many times you render. You know, well, of course, you know, a lot of these AI generators that generate these images, they won't. If you say render or create Alita Battle Angel, then it won't do it. So no, I can't create a copyrighted character. So what you got to do?
Chat GPT is not bad for that. It will automatically do it. And it says, oh, because Alita's not a real person, there's no issue.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it is copyright. But if you go on Gemini and you say render an image of a teenage cyborg girl with short black hair and big brown eyes in the style of Alita Battle Angel, then it renders it. It looks just like Alita. So what the hell? I mean, you know, seriously. So maybe that phrasing is let them off the hook or something. So her DNA would be that of her human mother. Yeah, that's right. That's very beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, you're right there, AKA. Definitely would be, you know. Although the origin of Alita's origin in Mars Chronicles is, God, I saw that and went, holy shit. It's really weird.
I suspect Cameron's probably going to go with a more conventional
the more grounded version. Yeah, I think so.
Something a little less John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah. So anyway, as Human Alita goes, I guess this is about the middle of the pack for me in terms of where it ranks, you know. I mean, she's extremely, you know, now you don't get a whole lot of human Alitas except for being recreated by our guy Lottie there. But, you know, I think, you know, human Alita looks really pretty and you know, as a, well, she's rendered as a human, you know, so I mean, and of course, you know, some of us really like humans, so, you know, that'd be pretty good, you know, but I think, yeah, that for me, she'd be like number 6 or something like this. Yeah, Alita isn't a real person yet. Yeah. Well, there are a bunch of women named Alita now. I think I saw some. I did a search on Alita Battle Angel or Alita or something like that.
Oh, is Alita now a baby girl name that gained some popularity?
Yeah, that's right. You know, so yeah, so there are some Alitas out there for sure. You know, but none like our girl, of course. So,
yeah.
Anyway. All right. Any more thoughts there? What do you think about the human body there, Vladi?
I mean, she's no longer a cyborg.
He hates it because it's not a cyborg body.
No, obviously it has some
just teasing,
advantages and some disadvantages.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have the capabilities that she would have in the Berserker or the Imaginos body, or even the Toon body for that matter. You know,
it would be easier to cosplay the human body.
Yes.
Well, there's one advantage that
that
cyborg body doesn't have, and that would be the ability to bear children.
Yeah.
No, she wanted to start a family. Yeah.
Well, there was a scene, or you know, in the Kissing Bridge, I guess, in the novelization where Hugo asked her, she says she can do anything that other girls can do.
Well, I think she was mentioning more about intimate activities, not necessarily childbearing.
Childbearing, yeah, that's right. But I do think, though, in the Imaginos body, particularly Imaginos 2.0 or 2.1 body, where she's well, 2. I'm not sure if 2.0 is a shape-shifting body or not. Maybe it is, but I think it's anything she can imagine. So yeah, she could imagine her construction, I guess is the best word I can put on it, to where she could
probably work a little bit more like osmosis.
Probably, yeah, probably so. But she could kind of, you know, make herself like a little bit like I can carry a child now, you know, if she wanted to, you know, maybe. I don't know, but that not in the Berserker body though. I don't think that's beyond its limit. I think so.
No, I think it's designed to engage in normal human intimate activities simply as a means of keeping the soldiers sort of psychologically sound.
Yeah,
they're able to act on human impulses, act as humans, so they don't lose a dangerous level of humanity and become something else.
Yeah, the Berserker body being a military platform likely wouldn't have much application for childbearing. Yeah, I agree with that. But who knows what they might come up with on this, you know. Now, I tell you what I don't want to see. I don't want to see Alita being pregnant. I don't want to see that. That's going to be a little bit too far for me, I think. But
that and no Grandma Alita. Damn you, Dan.
Well, like I said before, Grandma Alita's more my style.
I still blame Den for that.
Yes, that's Den's fault. Yes, it is.
As far as what AKA was asking here, I think in the movie in Zalem, yes, they do, because Sharin did as far as I'm aware, give birth to Alita Ito.
Yeah.
In Tefari's in the manga, I don't think they do. No, they have artificial wombs that people are grown in.
Yeah,
I think, if I remember correctly.
Kind of like in the Man of Steel movie. You remember they had that at the beginning. They had those pods, I guess, for the children because they wanted to bioengineer them into different, you know, kind of give them a different purpose. You know, I guess. So it'd be kind of like that, I would guess, in Zalem, in the manga, not so much in the movie. All right, guys, any more thoughts on human Alita? that human Alita on the right there, she looks like she's got a little bit of a tood going on there, doesn't she? She looks like she's not too happy about something.
Maybe Hugo said that she was heavy.
Yeah, and every time I see that scene, I say, "You dumbass." Oh boy. Okay, well, I put the Imaginos 1.0 and 2.0 bodies on one slide. Now they're different bodies, but they're kind of similar in capability, I guess. I guess the 2.0 has more capability.
I think it's more power scaling.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. So now, of course, as Angelus will rightfully testify, there's plenty of uwu to go around here. But I think one of the things about any of the Imaginos bodies is she's not a cyborg. She's an android in these bodies.
Yeah, at this point.
So, I think, I guess the Imaginos 1.0 and 2.1 bodies, I mean, I kind of like them, but since there's a 2.1 body, I'd say, okay, these are not as good as 2.1. So anyway, because I think the Berserker body is my second favorite body, I guess. But these are up there. These are in the top 5, I think. Because well, of course, it's Alita. So anyway, what's your thoughts about this, Angelus?
1.0 is my favorite because excuse me, it's the power of the Imaginos, but the simplicity of the 1.0 version, and then 2.0 is, funnily enough, second place.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, it's like Badman says, he thinks that the nano machines in 2.0 body are more advanced than they are more sophisticated than the 1.0 body. I kind of agree with that. I think they both have nano machines, but they're
constructed entirely of those nano cells based off of Berserker technology.
But I think the nano cells in the 2.0 are more advanced than the 1.0. Now I don't know how much, So, but it's similar to what she's in the Berserker body. Now I think either one of these bodies are more powerful than the Berserker body myself, But I mean, this is our girl. So what do y'all think? What do you think about these two bodies? Now you haven't gotten this far in the manga yet, have you, Vladi?
No.
Let's ask Chaos. What does he think? Chaos, you there? I guess not. Lee, your thoughts?
Not really sure there's much more that I could say on them. They're very powerful, very versatile. In her hands, they're extremely capable weapons.
All right. Can you hear me now? There.
Yeah, we can hear you. What? Did you have like a little bit of an audio issue there, Chaos?
Yeah, using phone.
Hey, if you got anything coming out this coming week, put it in the private chat, and I'll put those links in the public chat.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. So anyway, Lee, you were saying about the Berserker? I mean, about the Imaginos, these two Imaginos.
Oh, yeah, it's I guess I'm not as huge of a fan of them. I mean, I like them; they're very impressive. They also have a very nice form to them, but it's more that they power scaled so far up that Kashiro had to do something about them because they went too overboard.
Yeah. Well, as powerful as these bodies are,
the next 2.1 was a little bit worse in that regard.
Yeah, that's yeah. So anyway, but God, look at the one on the left. She's cute. I mean, now she'd tear you to bits if you were to get mad. She'd get mad at you.
She's moving fractions of light speed. All she had to do is wave her hand in your general direction. You splatter.
Yeah, I think that was a retcon version, from that one side story where she was running. I think it was I don't know if it was a starship or if it was a crash ship or whatever. And the images in front of her were blue shifted and the images behind her were red. So you had to be running.
That was just a regular part of the Last Order or was that
Could-
the side story?
I don't think so. I think it could have been. I don't think it was, though. I think it was a retcon,
Okay.
side story. But yeah, I think that, for you to be running that fast, to see things blue shifted, you'd have to be going at least 50% the speed of light, I think. I don't know. Nobody, no human.
Moving through an atmosphere at those speeds would just be,
That's going to be.
you'd be blasting half the planet to life.
Well, you'd be doing what Omni-Man did. When he caused you to be in the atmosphere.
Chaos, your mic has really got tons of static in it. Golly.
Yeah, that was badly fragmented there.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. Sounded like static electricity.
Yeah.
That's much worse. Much worse. That's pretty rough. Of course,
he mentioned Omni-Man. As I was actually pointing that out, I think in one of the other streams, that it would have been about like that, Omni-Man moving through the atmosphere on that one planet.
Oh yeah,
just completely laying waste to the planet just by flying.
Like the Flaxons, I think he totally destroyed that planet. Yeah, I mean, running at those speeds now, you have to suspend your disbelief here, because I mean, certainly you run that fast and running through a like a ship of some kind. You wouldn't, the time scale there wouldn't be very much now. Time dilation being what it is, if she's moving at say 90% the speed of light, she's going to perceive things differently.
Oh yeah.
And time, on the outside is faster than it is on the inside, type thing. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, so maybe, that she might perceive things, but perceive things like that. There's chaos, I guess.
Yeah. Well, with the manga, it was easy for me to suspend my disbelief because it's
trying it again.
That sounds much better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, much better. So anyway, these two bodies for me are in the upper 5. I think. Of bodies.
Well, very nicely designed bodies. They've got some impressive abilities, but
yeah.
I guess for me, it just kind of went a little bit too far in the Dragon Ball Z direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that. So anyway, Chaos, now we've got your mic working. What do you think of these two bodies?
I'd say, either one's pretty good. It's still a similar technology, and hypothetically, you could have a kind of collapser used against it.
Well, I think these nano machines or cells are different than the Berserker. I mean, the Berserker cell is probably based on them, but they probably...
Well, I remember that Nova did say that they were based on it, but he made significant changes to the technology.
I think so, yeah. She can definitely kick some ass in these bodies, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
quite
God.
a bit. Area of effect, at distance, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. You kind of look at her and you say, wow, she's a cute little thing, isn't she? Boy, she'd tear you to bits. I mean, it's really funny. Oh, here we go. Berserker. All right, Chaos. Let me put that in the... Okay, folks, you can go check this out if you want. Just put that in the public chat.
Okay.
So, any more thoughts about these two bodies? Okay, well, let's just kind of move on to the Creek's favorite body, the Imaginos 2.1. And the only reason it's my favorite body, because I do love the Berserker body as well, but this thing is ridiculously overpowered. She's a goddess in this body. I mean, she's connected to the wormhole or the singularity, as you'd put it. And of course, at some point, she was connected to both supercomputers, although one of them got destroyed. The Melchizedek, got destroyed, I guess. But she's connected to the supercomputer on the quantum computer on Jupiter, or orbiting Jupiter. And it's kind of gives her the ability to be like, you remember in, I guess in Infinity War, where Doctor Strange kind of went through those 14 million plus scenarios, you know, that he went through, and it took him, looked like, several seconds to do that. I think in this body, and she's an android again in this body, but in her brain chip, she does not have a human brain like, you know, Doctor.
So she can think and process much more.
Exactly. I think she could go through millions of scenarios in microseconds, or if not nanoseconds, you know. And that kind of gives her an advantage on people she fights, because she can process, you know, the data when she's looking at, she's fighting, and see different scenarios of, you know, how things can turn out. And she can do that in just a few nanoseconds, you know, and then it's going to be damn near impossible to beat her in this body just because of that, you know. Yeah. Plus, she is a supreme shapeshifter in this body. I mean, anything she can think of, you know, that's what she can do, you know, become, you know. So she's, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right about that, bad man. This thing is ridiculously overpowered. That's for sure.
Imagine her meeting with Erica in this body.
Oh, she'd destroy Erica in this body.
Yeah. I mean, just smack down.
We've done streams about this body versus Thanos, Darkseid, you know, Steppenwolf, and those kind of characters. And in this body, she wins, you know, in this body. Now in other bodies, those characters are gonna have the advantage on her, you know. But she's, like I say, she's got S tier material on this in this body. I mean, you know. But you know what's amazing about her in this body? She still retains that humanity. You know, her good streak is still in her, because the thing of it is, excuse me, just a second, let me clear my throat.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah, I hate that when it happens. But anyway, at the very end of Last Order, she, you know, I don't want to give it away, but she kind of sacrifices a piece of her, not her life. I mean, she doesn't die or anything.
She sacrifices quite a bit for other people. For
another person, that's right. So that right there says a lot about her humanity, that she still has retained that. So, you know, just kind of gives up on, you know, something that she promised, and it was really a heartache for her, you know, but she did it for the benefit of somebody else. So, you know, it speaks
what she often does.
Yes, that's our girl. Our girl does that. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, other than the woo there, Angelus, what's your thoughts?
It reminded me that I needed to change my order, in that it goes 1.0, then 2.1, and then 2.0.
Okay.
Because I do love the wings aspect.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as I've said in the past, I like that tail too, you know. Yeah, that she's called Cat Lita, I guess, at some one point, which is kind of hilarious. So, but yeah, she, in this body, she can destroy armies. I mean, there's no way they can take her out. You know, I mean, if any creature, now this is of course we're biased, you know, I mean, but in this body, she beats Thanos or Darkseid or one of those critters, you know. No army's going to be able to stand up to her. She single-handedly could take out an army of, you know, 20,000, you know, I mean, she's just that potent in this body. So, you know, and plus she can move at these speeds, you know, I mean, it'd be something to behold, you know, seeing somebody like this. Now, this is going into not just science fiction, this is science fantasy right here.
Dragon Ball Z levels of power.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think Tetsuo or Sentry or a couple of other really powerful ones could take her apart.
I think, well, I don't know if they could take her apart, but I would definitely say Sentry is interesting. You know, the thing about Sentry though is that if he's not, you know, if he doesn't succumb to the darks, that void, you know, and he's just he has the powers that he has, but it seems to me he's not as powerful as just, you know, Bob, I guess, or whatever his name is, you know, but when he's you know, when the void is taking him over, then he's super duper potent, you know.
Well, even when he wasn't, he just like was like gesturing with his hand, and people were flying away from him. Like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, they definitely.
It's just that his own powers can make him become the void.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, to mention that, I went to see over the weekend. I guess I went to that movie, the newest Avengers movie. I guess the Thunderbolts. That's what it's called.
Right.
Yeah, and he's the Sentry's in that, and the Thunderbolts, which become the new Avengers. He kicks the shit out of all of them himself. I mean, they don't stand a chance against him, you know. And they had Winter Soldier and Red Guardian, and you know, just there's like 6 of them, and he just beat the crap out of them. You know, I mean, he's Sentry's Superman level type stuff. Plus, he has mental powers, you know. So,
right.
So he's pretty badass. But Alita's pretty badass too, you know, and she would. The fact that she can process data the way she does, and that she's a shapeshifter the way she does, and is as fast as she is. Now, Sentry's pretty fast himself, you know, so it'd be interesting. I think some of the Super Saiyans too this would be interesting, you know, to see them against her. But I think she's pretty badass in this body, which is why I love it. You know, I like the wings and I like the tail. So
I like the design of the actual body itself. It's all shiny and silver. I'm gonna head off now, actually, guys. I've got to go to bed.
All right, there, Blotty. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, I mentioned Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that I'm going to go the same way as Bloody because
it's late.
For the same reason, only in reverse because I'm working the night shift.
Oh man, you got that weird schedule there, Angelos. But yes, okay, no problem.
I know we're probably close to being finished, but yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, get ready for bed, go to bed, and then obviously get ready.
No point skimping on too much sleep. It's not good for you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, all right, Angelos, we'll catch you.
See you tomorrow. About, like I said, it will be half an hour late. Finish at 7:30. Stream starts at 7 for me, so like try to, I guess, put the news back as much as possible, or get Maxie to do the news.
Well, maybe I could do I'll modify the show notes to where I do my bit first. That'll give you time. Okay, we might do that. What do you think?
We'll see how it goes.
All right, yeah, we will. Okay. All right, Angelos, we'll see you.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
So anyway, this body right here, one on the right, particularly, it's sexy and it is powerful looking, man. Whoa. Could you imagine fighting somebody that had those damn Damascus blade wings? Holy crap. I mean, you just say, all right, I'm just giving up. Go ahead, kill me. I'm done. I can't fight. Any other thoughts, Lee or Chaos, about the Imaginos 2.1 body? Yeah, we're approaching 2 hours. Maybe we ought to kind of speed up.
Maybe.
It's really freaking powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the sort of wings tail look as well. It's got a neat aesthetic to it, but
yeah. Well, the wings, she doesn't keep them for very long, but I mean, yeah.
They're a nice look while she had them.
Oh yeah. Well, she does look like an angel, doesn't she?
Yep.
So anyway, moving on.
Angel.
Yes. The Motorball body, of course, this is Maxie's favorite body.
Yep.
For me, this is somewhere in the middle of the pack, but you got to admit, aesthetically, I mean, it looks like a race car, I mean, to me.
Yeah. Which is fitting considering what it's meant for. So, yeah.
Yes. And of course, it does have, the Imaginos body, she can manipulate plasma and generate it just like she can in the Berserker body, but she can do that in this body too. So yes, and of course she's still got Uwu. So anyway, that's a plus, for her. Look at that look in her eye on the right though. Looking up there, looking up at Nova. Oh boy. Oh crap. Anyway, what's your thoughts there, Lee, on this one?
Not really sure much more can be said on this. It was very aesthetically pleasing design. Not my favorite, but I certainly don't dislike it.
Yeah, I don't dislike anybody she's in, you know.
Yeah, me too.
So
I think it's one of the more interesting designs.
yes.
I was kind of thinking that in order to get the plasma to work in that body, more than likely Ito had to reverse engineer some of the plasma emitter systems in the Berserker body.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right about that.
I think that's what me and Maxie both went with in our fanfics.
Ah.
But yeah, I'm not really sure I can add much more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie, how you doing, man? What about you, you Chaos? What's your thoughts on the Motorball body?
I think it's, you know, it's a bit more grounded. I mean, obviously it's different because she isn't carrying the same kind of sword. She gets what's called the Damascus membrane by Ed.
Yeah. Well, this body's certainly optimized to play Motorball, isn't it?
Yep.
Definitely.
Couldn't you see her in this body if she was playing rollerball? Those humans wouldn't stand a chance.
I'm not sure they'd even allow her on the track. Jeez.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't. Well, of course, you know, in Motorball, they can, you know, take people apart like that, you know, like they did, like I guess Kanuba did against Adjicutty.
Because the bodies are designed to be destroyed and
rebuilt.
As long as you don't damage the brain of your opponent, you can wreck their body any which way you want because it's designed to be put back together again. Yeah.
Because that's like Adjicutty, you know, he gets blasted to bits by those grind cutters. And then, of course, almost the next scene, he's back in Kansas bar. Oh, looking like, oh, there goes your mic again there, Chaos. Let me get this thing, this other, got another thing from Chaos here in the chat, so let me put that in there.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, retrofuturism, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on from this. I like this body for sure. You know,
I do too.
It's probably around the middle of the pack for me. Tuned body.
For me, this one was on a par with the Berserker body.
Yeah,
I like them both fairly equally.
Well, I think power-wise, the Berserker body may have a little bit of an edge because it's got that plasma weapon, you know.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the only thing this one's missing is the plasma.
Plasma, yeah. And probably the people in that, MIB or whatever it was, CIB or whatever, MIB.
MIB.
Yeah.
No, GIB. Inspection.
Yeah, GIB, that's right. So, what was that? Doing the damn, Will Smith movie, yeah. But anyway, but it's pretty powerful itself. You can see that I just love that panel on the left. You know, those two dumbasses, Figure 4 and Yolg are down there. Oh, wow. I'm glad that window was right there.
Good thing the window was there.
Yeah. And then, of course, Alita's holding that big column up that probably weighs about 900 to 1,000 pounds. And she's holding it up with one hand, looking at him like, you dumbasses. So anyway, but yeah, I like this body. I would say it's probably in the middle of the pack, though, for me, you know. But boy, she looks cute on the right too, doesn't she?
Yep.
She's gonna look cute in anybody. So what the heck?
Yeah, she looks cute as she's threatening Kiyomi with killing her the next time she meets her.
Yeah, that's right. Or killing Den.
No, that's her. She's actually threatening Kiyomi there.
Oh, that's right, because Kiyomi was standing between them, wasn't she? So yeah. Next time I'm going to shoot. Yeah. If she said that to you, you'd say, "Okay, I agree with you." I'm not going to. Yeah. What do we got here, bad man? Let's see. Plasma 92 to 400 volts DC display. Electrolyte compressed air is forced through. Yep. Yeah, I don't think they had any of that capability there in the tuned body. What's this one right here? Alita Killing Angel. I like a team body reminder the best, especially removes her arm or to fight figure 4. Yeah, that's another set of panels I just really love. I mean, she beats the crap out of
Well, I
it.
think AKA is referring to her form as
Yeah,
she's
yeah. Well, she's
Uwu.
so yeah, ooh, she looks sexy in this body too. But what I love that set of panels though, where he just keeps getting up.
And the interaction between the two of them, yeah.
Yeah, you know. And she's not trying to hurt him badly, but she's beating the shit out of him.
It's like, do I have to kill this guy to get him to stay down?
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with this guy? It's just really funny.
What's wrong with him is he's a little too much like you.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what's wrong with him.
Yeah, I was going to say the MIB is the Medical Inspection Bureau.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Medical Inspection Board, but it's Bureau.
Bureau, yeah.
Every time I hear Ground Inspection Bureau, I just keep thinking of that one. What was it? A skit this one comedian did. It's kind of like business inspector or business consultant. It's like, yeah. This is a business. I keep thinking
Well,
the Ground Inspection Bureau. It's like, yep, this is ground.
Well, that MIB, I think of Men in Black.
Yeah, I think of that too a little bit.
So yeah, I like Alita in this body, but it's in the middle of the pack for me. Now this body we don't know a whole lot about, and I got a couple of bodies there that, I guess.
Actually, I rather like this one as well because it's not as Dragon Ball Z-ish.
Yeah.
But it's still a powerful body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got that Chibi Zex on the left side there, and then on the right, she's got Danko, that sentient gun. So anyway, but this is the body. What I was trying to convey here is that when the backstory for the movie, Alita is kind of raised up by the Republics of Mars, I guess, to fight in the military, and she's training for however long, from 10 years old, I think, on to about 17, I think it was, something like that. And this body is like a Berserker body, I think. It's very similar to it, and it's the body that she was training in. It's also the body she was in when she was standing in Mars Chronicles, when she was standing at that I guess it was some
memorial.
The memorial, that monument looking thing that Erica had built there, or had built, and
Erica built that?
No, she didn't build it, but she had it built, I think, by somebody or was involved in it some way. But because I remember she said something, I had this put here or something because I knew you'd bring you here, and she wanted to, she basically wanted to kill Alita, but that didn't work out. I mean, she ripped Alita's arm off, but Alita did something to her too. Did she rip her arm off as well? I don't remember, but there was a hell of a fight, and then of course Alita says you're a necro soldier, and that freaks her out.
Yeah, she did cut off Alita's arm, and then Alita used her arm as a melee weapon.
Yeah, which is wild.
And she had some kind of remote control over it, so she still was able to use the arm as an arm, even while it was disconnected.
Ah, Bluetooth. Okay.
So basically, something like that, yeah. Like a wireless.
Yeah.
Wireless nervous system. Now,
this body for me is also somewhere in the middle, maybe lower middle, but she still looks good in this body as well, Lita wasn't trying to kill Erica. Yeah, that's right. She definitely wasn't, because she wanted to save Erica, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she didn't want to kill her. Yeah, for sure.
Whereas apparently the old Alita, before the
Yoko,
she did actually end up killing Erica.
She did. Yeah, that's why she's a necro soldier. So yeah. Anyway, thoughts on this chaos, on this body?
I mean, interesting. I don't know much. It just feels a lot more grounded than Imaginos by
I think
margin.
So. Yeah, it definitely was.
I think that's one of the things I like about this body is there's that mysterious background associated with it. It's like, what were the circumstances of her getting it? Because there was like that 3-year period she was on the Venus colonies or something like that.
Well, yeah, the Imaginos was gone.
Yeah.
presumably in the orbital Venus colony, and yeah, so now she's been assigned to have the new body from Melchizedek.
Yeah, let me answer Carrie's questions. They're not technically sisters, Erica and Yoko or Alita, but they're kind of like sisters, although, because they kind of went through a lot together as kids, on Mars.
For a while, at least, they were very close.
They were extremely close, like sisters, so, but they're they're not actually biological, or even, I guess it'd be almost like stepkids that were siblings, but self-adopted siblings, I guess, from each other.
Sort of found family kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what do we got here? Bad man. Did manage to force her to remove her foot to escape. Okay, I knew something happened to Erica. So Erica lost a foot, and Alita lost an arm. That's really, yeah. Every time Alita gets in a fight with a formidable opponent, she loses a body part, it seems like. So anyway, a pair of lion cubs. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, basically adopted sisters or found family, like you were saying, Lee. That's right. Yeah, kind of like foster sisters, sort of. Yeah, for sure, found family. Yeah.
Yeah, they got thrown together and ended up becoming close, and then apparently they had some kind of falling out.
Well, I think with Erica, what happened when she took up with Baron Mustard, and he kind of had a big influence on her, the way she was brought up. Plus, she probably had some residual, why did you leave me, Yoko, for that woman that claimed to be your mother and stuff like that. I think that played into
twisted her already damaged psyche.
Yes. So anyway, well, that's what I got on these bodies, you guys. It's let me get to the next one here. So which of the bodies are the best? Of course, I guess Angelus and Vladi are gone. But for me, I have like two of the best, but I guess my very best body is the Imaginos 2.1 body, and second place for me is the Berserker body. So, what about you, Lee?
The Berserker and tuned body tie for first place.
Okay. I can see that. What about you there, Chaos? And I think you're muted.
Yeah, I was just going to say Baron Muster. It's possible that Baron Muster had a negative impact on Erica. That's a bit of an understatement.
Yes.
Just a little.
He definitely had a negative impact. Because
I nudged her in the wrong direction a little bit.
Who was that guy that I guess that Mustard turned that his wife or something to stone or something?
I can't remember. I just remember I don't really remember a lot of the sort of peripheral characters much. Mainly it's just Muster, the Queen of Mars.
Yeah, Limera.
Queen Lamira. Zazie and of course Erica and Alita, or Yoko as she was back then.
Well, the reason why I brought up the reason why I want to address this is that when I guess Muster, he turned that guy's wife into stone or something, and I guess Muster gave the husband, who was a husband, gave to Erica as like her pet, or whatever, just kind of somebody she could subvert or whatever, because Erica was a little girl. I mean, she certainly wouldn't be any kind of like
giving her power over somebody.
Over
another life would help twist her a bit.
Well, it wouldn't be anything like we would think of like slavery or anything like that, but I mean, as a plaything, and of course, Erica in the first few pounds, don't worry, whatever your name is, I can't remember. We'll figure out a way to escape Muster and all that. And then, of course, next story or two down the road, she's riding him like a horse, and come on, giddy up, horse, what's wrong with you, So she's already on that path, So yeah. So Chaos, you back?
Yes, I am.
What's your favorite body?
Tuned.
Tune body. Okay, so We got a first place. Well, it's hard to say. I'd say that then because I think Berserker's second, and Lee likes Berserker and Tuned, and you like Tuned. So it's probably pretty close between Berserker and Tuned, I think would be the best two bodies, I think. So I like the Tuned body. There's nothing wrong with it. So, all right, guys, any other thoughts about the bodies? Oh, wait a minute. Nope, didn't want to do that. Any thoughts about it?
I think we covered it pretty well.
I think so. All right. Well, next week or coming up on the channel tomorrow, I'm gonna come up with another music video of. It says Alita is a goddess. Of course, we know that, but it's going to be to that movie, to that tune, Venus. I don't know,
by Bananarama.
Yeah, by Bananarama. That's right. So, and there's some shots of Alita, some kind of semi-sexy fighting shots, stuff like that. So, and then of course I've been real busy this past week, so I haven't been able to come up with ideas for other videos. And then one of the reasons too, I wanted to say the reason why we didn't do a manga reading today, of course, is because that manga was taken down off of Manga Dex, and I didn't find out about it until late yesterday. So I went, holy crap! And I had to work today, so I was kind of in trouble there. So with that one, but I came up with this topic, so it worked, I guess. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's see.
Well, I do have the slides, but I'm leaving next week.
Okay. Are you in Mentor, Ohio, or are you in Pennsylvania?
I still am. I'm moving there next week, Friday. So.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thanks. So I'm using the phone right now.
Yeah, that's right. Alita Killing Angel. Erica did kind of protect Yoko, didn't she, when they were little kids? So what do we got here, Carrie? Let's see. Why not add a pool to chat to ask viewers? I could have done that, but it's getting a little late. We've been going past 2 hours now. So yeah.
So I have the slides I sent you, but I'm not really going to be making anything because I've just got a phone. I've got to pack everything. So.
Okay. Anyway, next week we will have another Alita live stream. I don't have a topic yet, but Angelus and I will come up with one. That is if he's not working his weird hours like he usually does. So, but we'll come up with something. I am so sure. Any other thing we want to talk about, guys? I think we hit it pretty hard today.
I think I'm good. I'm probably going to head off and get me some dinner here shortly.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing. We're going to have a really short Stammtisch today because I got to do the same thing. Yeah, the channel of the week I wanted to pick was channel Miss Lee. Now, she hadn't posted a video for a year, but her videos are good. I really like them, and maybe if we get her some views, maybe she'll get back on there, and maybe do some more videos or something like that. But there you see her YouTube address up there at Miss Lee 9699. I don't know what the 9699. I know what the 99 means, maybe, but not the 96. I'm not sure of that. Maybe that's when she was born. Maybe who knows? But check out Miss Lee's channel. Her videos are really superb, I think. Did we miss anything? I don't think so, guys. What do you think?
I think we're good.
Yeah. And you can see from that center panel right there, Alita does love her Uncle Creek. And that's because he wants to get a sequel like she wants. So, and if you got a problem with her loving her Uncle Creek, you take it up with her and that plasma weapon right there. That'll be a problem. There's our queen. And of course, our queen is, she's #1 in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor. She's really super duper. I don't want to wax lyrical about it too much more, but that her performance in that stage play was just absolutely superb. You know, is really good. You know, so but anyway, our queen too. She's not only talented, but she's pretty as well. So you know, that's a good thing. And I want to give shout outs to Eldemont Jesse Fisher for bringing Screwhead to life. And we want to see all three of them in the sequel, because I want to see Alita and Screwhead team up against Dracula. That'd be interesting. And it'd be three of my favorite actors, or in Jesse's case, I guess, stunt woman, I guess. But you know, they're three of my faves, and I want to see them, you know, in that sequel, and because that's what they want, and you know, we want them to succeed, as it were. What's this, bad man? What you got here? You Google Drive and compressed file for Martian Chronicle. Oh, okay. Appreciate that, bad man. I sure do. So anyway, you're bad man. I don't know if are you on Discord? Are you on the gaming channel? Because I really love reading those Martian Chronicles. I think it's really great. Anyway, bad man, if you can, if you're on Discord or if you're on X or Blue Sky, if you're on one of those, you know, then let me know. Okay. Tomorrow we will have a manga reading on Radio Chaos, and Maxie's going to be the host of this. And of course, it's going to get real serious with the Barjack here. Okay, cool. Bad man, I guess. Are you the bad man also on Discord? If so, then we can communicate that way. Or on Twitter, you can shoot me a DM if you want, or a message. I'm Creek Indian on all those platforms, so you know it's I don't change my handle at all for that. But anyway, tomorrow it's going to get serious on the Badlands arc when you know, the Barjack, you know, what's going to happen there, and you know, Alita is missing a part of a leg. She's missing a hand, I think, or something like that. But she's going to take.
Yeah, I think she's missing a foot, hand, an arm, an entire arm, and an eye.
Yeah, and an eye. That's right. Yeah, so she's
a little banged up.
Yeah, they're whittling her down pretty good, I think. But she's still a force to be reckoned with, even without an arm, an eye, and a foot. She's been
reduced to half a torso and an arm, and still done a lot of damage. So
yeah, that's right. So join us for that. We are going to have a lot of fun. I love those manga readings. And Maxie does a real good job too of reading them. Maybe it's because he's an author himself. And for the Stammtisch, you know, we're going to have a real short one today, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in there. If you want to come on, just say hi in a very brief discussion. I just put the link in the chat. There it is right there. You click on that. We'll bring you in. And if you want, you can wait till after, you know, when the outro starts. You can still click on the link, and I won't bring you in until we get to the Stammtisch. But yeah, we just get on here. We don't stream this. You know, we just chat and you know, we just hang out. But today we're going to make it pretty short because you know, I need to get something to eat for one thing. So anyway. And we are the Alita Army. We are the most positive fandom on the internet. And of course, we love our girl. We love our queen. And we want to have that sequel, Disney. Damn it. And we are here to stay. We support Alita and Rosa passionately and positively. Why is this image here? Well, that image is there because I like it, and I'm running the stream. I am the producer. I am the director. I'm also the janitor. I'm also the cook and bottle washer. So I'm all those things. And paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us in the Alita Army are only here for our girl and each other. We are extended family. We want the sequel, and we are going to do what we can to get that sequel.
Yep.
And that only leaves us with one thing, and that is going to be the call to action. And that would be on my my count of 3, and that'd be 1, 2, 3.
Fill those sequels, baby.
So, God, that was good that time. Usually we're all over the map.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I'll see you later. I'll let you know on messages where I'm.
Well, yeah. Thanks for joining, man.
Yeah, take care, Chaos.
All right. See y'all.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita Livestream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.